the amount of times that I have tried to record this video and I've been just like scooting my way around the deck trying to evade the sun. I mean, she's beautiful, she's gorgeous. It's a beautiful day outside. So anyways, hi, how are you? I have my little cup of tea with me. It's a beautiful morning so far. This is probably the earliest that I've come out to record. So bear with me because my brain is a tiny bit scrambled at the moment. I just wanted to come out here to chit chat a little bit, to just get cozy, get comfy, and just yap a little. I came out here with an idea of what I wanted to talk about, and then I started thinking, and I feel like I want to talk about something else actually. So again, double bear with me because I didn't plan to be talking about this topic. So I have no notes on it, no quotes, no journaling, just full on raw dogging it straight from the brain, straight from the noggin. And that thing that I wanted to talk about is dreaming and being a dreamer. God forbid a girl be a dreamer. I feel like a lot of the times we spend a lot of energy thinking about what if everything went wrong, and we don't ever ask ourselves, wait a second, what if everything actually went amazingly well, and what if everything went right? And do you ever take times to visualize that and picture it in your head, in your little noggin? I think that that's just always been something that's been so ingrained in just like who I am. Like, I've always been a daydreamer at my core. I remember vividly in elementary school getting pulled out of the classroom on a weekly basis because I was just up here. I was not here. I was always making up scenarios in my head, thinking about being one of my like reoccurring scenarios back when I was in elementary school was visualizing being like this hero in the classroom. Like some like crazy disaster would happen and I would save the day, and I would come in and be like, just kidding, I'm a superhero, everybody. And I would be like, oh, gasp. I remember telling that to my teachers once. They were like, what are you thinking about? And I was like, well, and they were like, ooh. And my parents, they would always get called into parent-teacher conferences. And I think that as an adult, don't get me wrong, I still come up with the silly little fun scenarios like that. But I also just daydream about things going amazingly well. And I think that as a creative, we're told a lot to not place an expectation on the outcome of our creative endeavors. A lot of the times we're told to be humble, and we're told to not think about the grandeur that could come with it succeeding and everything going right. I think that sometimes we are called greedy if we do that. We're called greedy if we say we're writing a book and we say, yes, I would like this to debut and I would like it to be a New York Times bestseller. Because a lot of people see that and they're like, well, you just are writing a book for the money then. You're just writing a book for the fame and the success. And yes, of course, money would be great. All of us want to be supported financially. But I think that it's more than that. I think that it's also in it being a New York Times bestseller and in it debuting, it means that my voice is being heard. And people do wish to be validated. I think that it's one thing if that's literally the only reason that you're doing it, because you feel like otherwise you're not worthy if your voice isn't heard. But I think that it's another to hold space for that, because I think sometimes we think those things and then we shame ourselves. And then we get into this shame spiral of it of, oh my God, Am I genuine? Am I authentic? Am I only writing this because I want the success that could come from it? And I think holding space for it and being like, yes, I do want those things. It's not my main motivator, but I am a dreamer to my core. And what is the point of living if there isn't a little bit of dreaming? I don't think that it should necessarily be something where you feel like your life is not enough. Dreaming is in your head, okay? And yes, it can be brought down into reality. And yes, you can have an intention on what it is that you would want that reality to look like. But it is presence that truly helps to bring it forth. It is presence in your current moment, in your current situation, and having gratitude for what you currently have, and having gratitude for where you are in this current moment, where your feet are planted and the situations that you're going through, that will help to bring those dreams to life. So I think that it's a very nuanced topic, Because I think that sometimes you can be so stuck in your head that you ignore your reality around you. I think that sometimes you can be so stuck on where you want to be in the future that you don't have gratitude for the present. And so when I speak about being a dreamer, I speak about it as a sacred container that we hold space for in our bodies. It's a sacred area of, I'm going to just daydream right now about my book being a bestseller and it debuting and me meeting people that have read my book and me having a literary agent, because that would be amazing. It would be building community and it would be meeting new people and it would be a new experience for me. And it would be a very tangible and satisfying outcome after having put all of this energy and effort into my book. But there's a twist there, which is if that doesn't happen, it's okay, because I haven't wrapped myself up in these dreams to the point of no return. It's not going to become something where if it does not happen, I don't know what to do with myself, because I haven't cultivated a healthy present environment for myself. I haven't cultivated an environment in which I'm thankful and grateful for, even in the littlest moments of pouring my cup of tea in the morning and putting honey in it, or going outside for a walk with my dogs. Those can be enough for me, but I can still have these moments of being a little bit whimsical and daydreaming about if that were to happen. And I think that in doing so, we're visualizing an outcome that we would like, but we are not attaching ourselves to it. Because I think that when we attach ourselves to it too heavily, that's where we lose sense of what we have currently. And we're too outwardly focused on the future and not acknowledging and understanding that inwardly, that is where our true happiness and our true peace is going to come from. I have no idea if you're going to be watching this video being like, what the fuck is this bitch talking about? Because I feel like it's a super nuanced fucking topic. Like, the art of detachment and manifestation, I feel like, is so heavily, it's like a riddle when you're trying to understand it, because it's like, yes, manifest these things, yes, be intentional, and yes, like, have dreams that you want to come true, that you want to have come true. Again, it's very early in the morning for me, but as you're doing this, also detach yourself from it and don't want it too badly. And it's like, girl, okay, how? Girl, bitch, where? How? Because when I first started trying to do that, I was like, I really feel like the universe is speaking to me in riddles right now. I have no idea how to make sense of being a dreamer, but also not caring if my dreams come true. And I think that the key to it is presence. I think that the key to it is gratitude. I think that the key to it for me has been, okay, I can be a dreamer. I'm allowed to be a dreamer. And you are allowed to be a dreamer. Get rid of the shame. Stop eating your humble fucking pie. Get rid of that. Go throw it in the trash can, okay? Because you are allowed to step into your own power, and you are allowed to have dreams for yourself. You are allowed to make a name for yourself if that's something that you wish to do and that's something that you feel called to do. But make sure that you are intentional about it. Make sure that you are not just only doing these things because you only want the fame and the success that would come from it. Make sure that you are doing it because there is a kernel inside you that just wishes to do it and is feeling called to do it. And if you do feel like you are only doing something for the fame and for the success, I'll use as an example, I remember when I was doing my last job, it was not in alignment with me. It was something that I was doing because I wanted to make money from it and I wanted to go viral and I wanted to bring in income. And that was the only reason that I was doing it. But it was slowly killing me on the inside as I was doing it. And I would spend time dreaming about if things were to take off and if I were to be successful in this. And guess what? I was very successful in it. And I made a lot of money from it. And I was able to support myself. And I was able to quit doing that and have a good chunk of savings to be able to travel cross country and be like, okay, well, what the fuck are we doing with our life now? Because I got to that point. I got to that pinnacle. I had it as a dream before. But when I go back and I look at those dreams that I had, it was only the money and the success that I was thinking about. There is a difference between, you may be dreaming about getting a job because it is something that could pay your bills. And I think that that's completely valid. And in me doing that back then, it was completely valid. And it was a part of my path. And it was the path that I walked. I have a video talking about it, but I was very badly taken advantage of. I had a lot of money stolen from me. And I had a lot of men telling me what to do, and there was a lot of people pleasing and a lot of not sticking up for myself, and I lost myself in the process because I had been so focused on income and money. I don't think that it's money specifically that we should be ashamed of wanting more of. Like, of course I want money. I want to be financially stable. I want to be able to continue traveling. I want to be able to know, like, am I going to be able to put food on the table a year from now, 2 years from now, when all of this other money goes away, which it's going to. But I think that when we have these dreams, we have to ask ourselves, what are the intentions behind them? And what are the intentions that we want to bring forth into this world? And how is it going to benefit not just me, but others around me as well? Everybody has a different path that they walk. But I think that for me, that's something that's important for me to have. When I come out here and I make these videos, I hope and I wish for people to see them that need to hear them in that moment. I think that going into it with that intention is what makes me hold this space for this daydreaming of, yeah, and I would like it to be successful and I would like to make money from it. And that is okay. That is okay. Like, I feel like as I'm saying it to you, I am saying it to myself, and I am also declaring it to the universe. It is okay for me to dream about having money. It is okay for me to dream about my voice being heard and my voice being seen. It is okay for me to dream about my book being successful. But, and again, here comes the nuance, if it all doesn't work out, it's also still going to be okay either way, because I can't wait to see what I do next to support myself. I think that a lot of the times we get so wrapped up in our dreams because we're like, if this one thing does not work out, then what the hell am I going to do? I feel like I used to always repeat that to myself, like, oh my God, what am I going to do next? And I started rewriting that as I was daydreaming. I started rewriting it as, and if these daydreams don't come true, it's not, oh my God, well, what the fuck am I going to do next? It's, I cannot wait. And I am so excited to see what I do next. I am so excited to see what I do next because I am capable of figuring it out, and I am capable of coming up with something new or coming up with something fresh. And even if these endeavors do not come to fruition, they happen for a reason, because they will lead me to whatever is next for me. And I will always be supported as long as I am walking in alignment with myself and I am being authentic to myself. I am not walking a path that has been carved by another. I am not walking a path just because I want the money from it. I'm doing these things because they are in alignment with me, and if a little money comes from it, I ain't gonna say no. I say with my green on and my green microphone. That wasn't even intentional, and all of the green behind me. I also think that daydreaming can be good, not just in a sense of how we can bring things forth in our reality and things that can happen IRL and in real life, but I think that daydreaming can be really cathartic and really healing in a more fantastical sense, in a more whimsical sense, in a, I'm falling asleep tonight, so I'm just going to imagine myself in a different world, in a different timeline, with a dragon as a sidekick and a little mouse companion that sits on my shoulder and whispers in my ear. I think that world building and using your imagination to daydream can also be very, very cathartic and very, very healing. And it can be a way to exercise visualization. We just get so caught up in our thoughts and in what am I going to do next? I think that sometimes, of course, we are going to think about those things because we are human beings, but we have to strike a balance and tell ourselves, yes, we're going to hold space for those thoughts, and yes, it's valid to think of those things. But can I be also a little bit whimsical and just imagine myself flying through the sky on a dragon? Can I just be a little bit whimsical and imagine myself as a little fairy in another world who is going and picking blueberries and making blueberry pie. I think that daydreaming does not just have to be visualization for manifestation. I think that daydreaming is so complex and rich and creative and fantastical and whimsical, and there are so many different things that we can do with daydreaming that help to bring us home to the creativity within our bodies that we've been ignoring for so long. I feel like this rant that I'm going on is literally just my last video talking about being whimsical. God forbid a girl be a little bit silly and full of whimsy, but I feel like it does align with what I'm talking about today, because if we're going to be talking about daydreaming, we have to talk about the fun type of daydreaming too. And I think that sometimes it's very hard for us to visualize everything working out and everything going well for us, because we have such a, oh my God, wait, I actually have a quote. I was going to talk today about chronic illness and living with a chronic illness, because your girl has been struggling with that. But I came out here and I was like, I just really want to talk about daydreaming. I don't know why, but it came over me. And I feel like sometimes those little kernels of inspiration, you just have to follow them and roll with it. So I did. I had this quote today that was about a completely different topic, but it also works for what I was just talking about. This is by Joe Dispenza, and he says, most people are addicted to the familiar, even when the familiar is pain, and they'll keep choosing it until the body unlearns the emotion. And I think that we really do become desensitized and familiarized with just always thinking about the worst case scenario, and with just always being consumed by our thoughts and going into these fear spirals in our head and talking down on ourselves and not hyping ourselves up, because why would we, right? We are human beings. We are messy. We are complicated. We always find the flaws within ourselves instead of the glimmers. And I think that daydreaming and visualizing everything working out can be very hard for us, because it's like, why would I tease myself with that? Why would I tease myself with what if everything were to work out? Why would I tease myself with this novel is going to debut when I'm writing it and I feel so shitty about it because it does not compare to the other novels that I read in my day to day? Like, who am I to dream? Who am I to think that I could be someone in this world? And it's this shame that settles over us. And I think that in exercising the muscle of daydreaming, we can start with the little tiny small things. We don't have to start with the big IRL, everything is going to work out for me things. We can start with daydreaming about ourselves being on top of a dragon flying around a fantastical, magical world, because it is a muscle that we have to flex, and it is a muscle that we have to learn how to use. Daydreaming is something that has been integral in us since we were children, but we forget how to do it as we become adults, because we get so consumed and sucked into how the world works and what we're going to do next. And I think that taking time to be like, I'm just going to daydream for the fun of it right now, it helps to bring us a sense of magic and miracles into this world, because dreaming and miracles goes hand in hand. And I think that when we think about these little things, they are so whimsical, and whimsy is intrinsically linked to miracles happening. It's that magic and that energy in this world that exists of people making it, and people having these crazy stories of deciding they're going to do something, and then these insane synchronicities that fall into place that help them to accomplish that, because they believe in miracles and they believe in whimsy and they believe in magic, and they are walking in alignment and they are daydreaming. They're not getting so stuck up in their daydreaming. It's not becoming maladaptive, but it's something where we have an imagination. We might as well use it. We might as well dream a little bit. God forbid a girl be a dreamer. God forbid a girl come into this world and want to dream. I just want to experience new experiences. I want to experience new people. I want to travel. I want to build a community. I want to have fun. I want to be full of whimsy. I want to see magic. I want to explore. I want to experience the human experience. I think that that's why a lot of people are scared to daydream, because we have this idea of how we present ourselves in this world, and daydreaming about this other version of ourselves seems silly and seems stupid, because again, who am I to think that it would be possible for me to do that? But I think that sometimes we have to ask ourselves, is this current version of ourselves serving us? And for me personally, it wasn't. It wasn't until I began shedding that identity that I started asking myself, what if it all works out? And I'd always said it to myself. Don't get me wrong. I have been on this journey since I walked away from that job. And I've been trying to make sense of the abundance mindset and manifestation. But this identity had been holding me back and had been this huge energy blockage for me this whole entire time. And I really do believe that sometimes when we are in a certain spot in our lives, whether it be a relationship, an environment, a job, a partnership, whatever have you, we think to ourselves, who am I to want more for myself? Who am I to walk away from this? Who am I to reach for and begin to cultivate a new identity for myself? Because in daydreaming, that is what you're doing intrinsically, whether you realize it or not. You are creating and cultivating a next era for you to step into, and a new identity for you to step into, one that hopefully would better serve you, and one that hopefully would help you to shed whatever it is that was holding you back in the past, or whatever it is that is holding you back currently. And I really had to come to terms with that and begin to try to shed that away. And it is a process. It's not like, she's fucking dead to me, and then you're just done with those thoughts. I still have my moments of fear spiraling. I still have my moments of, oh my God, what am I going to do in this life? But I have a baseline to bring me back. So after I say, oh my God, what the fuck am I going to do with my life? I take a moment, I acknowledge that, I validate the thought, because of course it is a scary time in my life right now where I don't know what I'm doing. But then I'm able to come back to myself and say, but I am so excited to see what I do next. It is those little moments and those little tweaks that start to change the neuroplasticity within your brain of, let's think about things a different way. Let's be a little bit more hopeful. Let's have a little bit of whimsy and magic and this belief in miracles in our life and see what happens next. Yeah, I am going to go out there and I am going to try. I'm going to try, and I'm going to try to be someone. And that's okay. It's okay for you want to be someone in this world. And it's okay for you to want to make a name for yourself, because in making a name for yourself, you are reaching people, and in making a name for yourself, you are helping to build community, and you are helping to bring a new light to a collective that is going through some dark shit at this moment. And if you can be a light in that, then why wouldn't you want to do it? You know? Now, if you are out there and you're like, I want to be the next Jeff Bezos, I want to be the next Elon Musk, I want to make a name for myself, I don't think that this is the video for you, because that is not what I mean. It is more so wanting to make a name for yourself because you want to be a serving member in this community that we call Earth. Because I have hope for it. I do. I know that that's a crazy delusional thing to say, but I do have hope for this planet. And I think that it's the daydreamers that are going to help bring forth a better reality for us. And it is the daydreamers that are going to help heal this darkness that has settled upon us and has settled upon the planet itself. And I think that in daydreaming, we are healing ourselves as well. Because I think that we daydreamed a lot when we were children, and I think that daydreaming can help to connect us to our inner child and to our inner worth. Because, yeah, You can go and you can do all the things, bitch. You can go and you can write that book. You can go and you can create that YouTube channel. You can go and paint that picture or make that dance routine or become a doctor, become the president. I don't know, whatever your goals are. It all starts with daydreaming, whether you realize it or not. It all starts with that thought of, oh, what if? And then I think lean into that. Hold space for it and see what happens. Okay. I really hope that this made sense. And I really hope that this video is salvageable. I did come out here and take that kernel of inspiration, so I'm hoping that it wasn't all for nothing. But actually, let me rephrase that. Even if I don't post this, it wasn't all for nothing because everything happens for a reason. But I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope I can't speak. I hope that this video sees the light of day. I thank you. I'm grateful for you. And I will see you guys in the next one. I'm going to try to film one more video this week. We are traveling to Washington State next week. So I'm going to be a little bit all over the place. We'll see if I can get one in or not. I literally have 2 brain cells right now. I cannot continue speaking. Okay, I love you guys. See you in the next one. Bye. Oh, excuse me. Peace, bitch.